But my gut is telling me, the same gut that's driven me for 16 years in the bull prediction business, that Kareem Hunt will win leagues in 2020. Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty!
Take a lap. A report surfaced over the last 24 hours where a Cleveland.com writer said that he thinks Kareem Hunt could get like 14, 15 carries a game, which would put him at elite running back value. Now, this is his opinion. We don't know whether this is going to happen. It's not coming from Stefanski's mouth, but at the same time, this is what I've been preaching all offseason long, that Kareem Hunt's got this standalone value that can win you leagues. And in a worst case scenario, we're looking at Kareem Hunt being a low-end running back too that you draft in the late 4th round, if you're even luckier in the 5th round. But Kareem Hunt can win you a league if he gets 4, 5, 6 starts. And I like Nick Chubb. That's the weird and confusing part about this. The problem is that Kareem Hunt is just as good, if not more talented. So if Chubb hits a roadblock, if Chubb gets hurt, a very aggressive runner, he runs so aggressively and does most of his work between the tackles with a history of one of the biggest knee injuries I've ever seen in college football, which adds up in time on a knee. When you destroy your knee, there's long-lasting effects, things that happen, arthritis, things that come along a lot faster for that player than the average player that didn't damage their knee. I'm not saying that Nick Chubb will 100% get hurt and miss 6 games, 8 games. I'm saying out of all the running backs in the top 10, Nick Chubb is the most aggressive to his own body. I would say Derrick Henry as well. Nick Chubb and Henry do so much on the ground between the tackles. They're just going to be more at risk of getting hurt when all of their work is up the gut, 300-pound linemen trying to drive them into the ground, these massive dudes hitting the ground over and over and over in that environment. It's not that crazy to talk about potential injury here. But again, back to what I just said, even in a worst case scenario where Nick Chubb starts 16 games, Kareem Hunt could produce low-end running back 2 numbers, and a lot of that's because they're going to use him at wide receiver a ton. This is one of the best receiving backs in the entire league. If you are a Nick Chubb believer, and I love Nick Chubb per start, top 5 to 7 running back, in a Stefanski-led offense that's now being run in Cleveland. We saw what Stefanski did to Dalvin Cook last year. The writing was on the wall there. No one had Dalvin Cook higher than I did. Stefanski was a big reason why. Cleveland's going to feed the running backs a ton of carries, but Kareem Hunt is just as good, if not better, than Nick Chubb. And that's gotta worry Nick Chubb owners. It has to worry a Nick Chubb owner, knowing that if an injury does happen to an aggressive runner with a ton of work fed to him the year prior, it's got to worry that Nick Chubb owner to know that the guy coming in to fill in is better at pass catching, as good between the tackles, and Nick Chubb's going to be looking over his shoulder if anything happens. I'm fading Nick Chubb at this point, given how high Kareem Hunt's climbing. You could just say, why don't you just cup the two? We're kind of past that point where you can actually cup the two together, because then you're spending 2 of your top 4 picks on Cleveland Brown running backs, and that puts you at a lot of risk. It doesn't give you a lot of flexibility. Drafting Kareem Hunt standalone in the 4th round is almost easier because you're not putting everything on one offense. I'd rather have Josh Jacobs in round 1 and Kareem Hunt in the 4th round. I'd rather have Drake and Kareem Hunt. I'm not straying away from Kareem Hunt. I'm straying away from grabbing Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb together. Something I used to promote to an extreme degree. I'm no longer promoting that. Mark my words on this right now. Kareem Hunt will win leagues for fantasy owners in 2020. Make sure you have at least 1 share of Kareem Hunt across your leagues. You will not want to miss this explosion that might happen in week 4, week 5, week 10, week 1. We don't know that. We're all speculating. Kareem Hunt could just be that standalone running back 2 all year, and Nick Chubb could start 16 games. That is a possibility. But my gut is telling me, the same gut that's driven me for 16 years in the bull prediction business, that Kareem Hunt will win leagues in 2020. And get on over to sleeperu.com and get all of your bold predictions, your rankings, and all the great content that will help you dominate your league. Stuff like this, but in written format and rankings format, and the famous bold predictions. Who's on my bold predictions list for 2020? That's what's going to help you win your league. Later, top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty,